Hello my beautiful lovely gamers, my name is Jonal. Welcome to this episode of How to Carry. This is where we go over how to carry with a specific hero in solo queue, trying to expand the horizons so people are not always just playing the hero that is the most meta and sticking to that, but understanding that in solo queue, especially in the rank ladder, having a broader horizon and being able to play the heroes that you actually are good on and understanding the win condition of that hero can really help you rank up and get better at the game. Now, of course, a like on the video really does help against YouTube's abusive algorithms, and if you want to hire me as a private coach, if you want to rank up, get better at the game, doesn't matter if you're bronze or top 500, it's 50 years for a 2-hour session. Hit me up on our Discord server, link down below, including my Twitter and Twitch in case you want to follow me whenever I decide to stream some games. Now, let's talk about Genji. And I know, Genji Omegalol, you know that the devs did say that he was one of the most played heroes and wasn't in need of a buff, but regardless, let's talk about how to carry Genji. I know there will be some salty comments saying that that's not physically possible, and I strongly disagree. One of the things that you need to understand with Genji, and I've talked about this excessively on the channel, is that your win condition is playing within 15-meter range. The amount of pressure that a Genji player can create is much higher than for a lot of other heroes. Again, Genji want to play in a way where he is active constantly within 15-meter range. 15-meter range is your dash range. With dash, you get 50. If you add a melee, that's extra 30, which leads to 80 damage initial burst without any shurikens. If you land a shuriken, which deals 28 damage, remember correctly, that leads it to 108 damage engage. That's the engage on the target. 108 damage, which is quite significant. That's just the initial engage, right? Then after that, it's landing your combos and so on. And Genji is mechanically difficult. And being able to do some of these, to execute some of the combos that you need to do and hitting the shots, landing them on a headshot, will take time. However, Genji has these two win conditions. Number one is just playing within that 15-meter range, looking for opportunity. What is really, really important is to be able to be in a position where you can both play around it, where you're playing around the team. And I've talked about this so many times when we talk about positioning in this game, that if the opponent team, this is their main group, it's not a Reinhardt, it's like their entire enemy team, right? Pushing with this kind of placeholder. And this is your team defending, right? You want to play in an angle where something like this can happen. So the enemy team pushes, there's a brawl happening here, and now you can react. You can shoot past the Ryan shield, deal damage to the tank, but you can also attack and target the backline. So for example, the Zenyatta here, you can target him. If your Ryan gets pushed now, right? He goes push around, this Ryan's follow. What happens to the Zenyatta? The Zenyatta, which is a red Zenyatta, gets pushed closer to you because he needs to heal their Ryan, meaning he is in a range that's very easy for you to punish. And if he doesn't, well, then you can continue to farm the Ryan for Dragon Blade. The good thing is that because of this kind of playing around, looking for a kill, right, looking for a kill, doesn't matter what kill, the easiest kill. If this Ryan gets bullied by 75 other teammates of yours, and he's super easy to kill, right, don't go for the 200 HP Zenyatta, go for the 80 HP Ryan. Dash him, help your team burst him, and you have a peck. Okay, that's the first thing. The second one is, again, and this is the kind of the comforting thing that happens. If you cannot get a kill, if for some reason your team is bad, there's not enough shield breaks, they all can't be behind shield, whatever, right? For example, with Hanzo, at that point, it's like you need to land the headshots, you need to get the frags early in the engagement, not late. So if you have teammates that kind of rushing all the time, you need to consistently land headshots and frag out really hard. Someone carry. With Genji, you have Dragon Blade, and that is the win condition of a Genji player, which gives him kind of this situation where, okay, if my team or the enemy team is just better than my team, we can't get frags, there's no way I can set up a way of getting kills. I can't hit my shots with the hands, so there's too many shields, too much pressure on me, whatever. If you play Genji, especially since there's a very low amount of Zenyatta players on the ladder right now, there's more Mercy players, you see some Moiras, you see maybe some Baptiste and so on. Going in with a blade, and especially since I have seen more and more Ana players, going in with a nano blade can give you a free win on a team fight and help you snowball. The amount of that is the two win condition you will be playing for, and the amount of pressure a Genji player can put on the opposing team is really good. But you gotta remember having good position. For example, here, as you can see, right, with this position up here, that gives me access. There's a difference between playing on the side of your team and playing behind the enemy team, right? Flanking and off angling, two very different things, and we don't want to off angle. If you play over here, right, on stairs for some weird reason, right, and you get like this really nice LOS, all it takes for the enemy team to do is to shoot you once, and now you're super low. Now you have to run all the way around, get to your healers. Potentially you could die in this trade. If you play top here and you take a lot of damage, all you need to do is peek here and you can get healed, or you can even if you get pressured somehow on the side, when you can drop down to your team and they can heal you, they can support you, and you can climb straight back up and you're still active. Meaning even when you're getting healed, even when you cannot play aggressively, you are still active on the map. That is the important thing with Genji. You cannot not be active with this hero. You have to constantly be pressuring for being active. The same goes if you swap the places. If this team is defending, right, and you manage to push them, initially on the engage, right, you might be deciding, okay, cool, I'll claim this high ground, right, I can do some trading, I can build some ult shots, right. Remember, again, if we don't get a kill, as long as we're trading for ult shots and building ult shots, right, then you can win the next team fight, as long as you can build up that ult shots. So you might be trading here, looking for the kill, keeps the pressure. As long as you're here, anyone within 15 meters of you cannot fall under 120 health. In practice, if you can land your shurikens, can't really fall under 100 health. If they are around 100, like, or even a little bit over, like 110, 120 health, right, they can very easily get bursted by a combo, right? Again, the right click, a dash, and a melee, it's 108 damage if you didn't land a headshot, right? So the enemy team can't really fall under, 120 and so on. That HP range, they are scarily easily burstable, right? So you have some pressure here. You're dealing damage, right? If the enemy team falls back and gives more space, instead of you having to play here, right, your team is pushing up, you can now, for example, take hotel from them, right? One denying hotel, and you can potentially push a kill up here, right? As this supports. This is one of the supports, right? Can't build LOS and so on, right? At the same time, you can still get back to your team. You can still get out. You can still drop down. You can still get healed. You can still get help, right? So you're not over here isolated, getting 1v5'd, and you are still super active. You can attack the Rhine. You can attack the backline. You can attack really anywhere on the map if the situation occurs, right? And this goes on for majority of this. The same goes on straight face, right? It doesn't matter what side you're on, right? If the enemy team starts pushing past, this line here, then you have a very easy high ground control you can start playing on. And look at all these high grounds you can play from, which you can go up and down from. The amount of speed, and the fact that the Genji can constantly take these positions up and down, really gives him an edge, right? You can start by playing, maybe if you are attacking, let's say that we are attacking this time instead of defending, right? We're attacking, so on the first you can play a little bit on the house, on the top of the house. As soon as your team gets through, right, you can continue chaining that up to taking this high ground, right, or the low ground, continuously chasing the enemy team as they're retreating. As they go here, you can swap to this high ground or even the top high ground over here, and the more you continuously push them, the more you can start taking these angles, and you're always creating crossfire, meaning the enemy main group can't just block main. As your team is pushing in, remember, your team needs to be pushing and keeping pressure. As long as they're taking all this pressure, they can't be blocking both you and your team. And if they don't block you, you're constantly threatening, looking for an opportunity, getting kills, people that are out of position, people that are alone. You're constantly there to punish these positions. And if nothing happens because they are tunneling and putting a brig on the back line and doing everything to make sure that you can't dive shit, you can just farm the tanks and build Dragon Blade, and then it doesn't matter if they put people on, because as long as your team is engaging and you have Dragon Blade, you can Dragon Blade, or even worse, you can Nano Blade and quickly get out of frag, as long as you have decent mechanics on that. That is the Genji win condition. You need to play fast, you need to play aggressive, you need to take off angles consistently and keep pressure, play within 15-meter range of the opposing team, build those Dragon Blades, and that is how you win with Genji. The biggest downside with Genji, or one of the biggest downside that you can be facing with Genji, is lack of high amounts of damage. You might be losing the shield war, which you will be trading up while their Hanzo is busy spamming your team's shield. You are busy killing the Hanzo, doing direct pressure, removing the health bars of the opposing team tanks, forcing out abilities and forcing out some of these resources. So yes, you might be losing the shield war. Yes, the enemy team will have more burst, but the amount of pressure you can put onto one player, and all you need is the enemy team to have one shitty player, right? Fuck your team. Your team doesn't need even to carry. As long as the enemy team has one trashy guy And we always know there's at least 1 or 2 bad teammates on the enemy team that you can always abuse because they're always out of position or always flanking, always doing something alone. As long as they have 1 of those, you can always get 1 or 2 picks, normally quite early in the game, right? If they have bad support, it's even easier because then it's not just the supports that are easily killed, but everybody else on the map will get a very slow response time on their heals, doing that you can quickly punish them. This is especially super easy because I see it so much in Platinum, in Gold, and Diamond when I help coach, especially those elos and also called Silver and Bronze, that the fact that you can just abuse the enemy team's positioning, it makes your games so much easier. And Genji is such a good hero for it due to the consistency and the fast burst of his dash combos, and again, the win condition of the Dragon Blade is giving you a ultimate that you can make so consistent and also so devastating that you can essentially win 1-3 team fights. And if you're aggressive enough, you're dealing enough damage, you're offering enough, you can build Dragon Blade incredibly fast. That is my how to carry Genji. Drop down which heroes you want to see in an upcoming episode. Give me your #1 tip that helped you improve with Genji so we can help out the rest of the community. Discord, Twitter, Twitch, link down below. Like the video, all the good stuff really does help out against YouTube's abusive algorithms. I love you guys very, very much. My name has been Jonal. As always, guys, you guys keep your enemy in your crosshair.